When two people stand at the edge of a new marriage, they often believe they are stepping into a perfect world. They hope for harmony, closeness, and a life where everything falls neatly into place. But many couples in those early months discover a different kind of truth. They begin to feel tension inside their home. They argue over small things that somehow feel big. They expect the other person to be exactly who they imagined. They want the partner to think the same way, act the same way, respond the same way, and grow at the same speed. When that does not happen, disappointment grows. This disappointment becomes a quiet wound that spreads through the day. It shows up when the laundry is folded wrong, when one person forgets a promise, when emotions rise too quickly, or when silence lasts too long. The wound often begins with a single thought. Why are you not the way I need you to be? That thought opens the door to the pain of craving without receiving. The pain that ancient wisdom calls the pain of wanting and not getting. It sits inside the heart like a stone. Many couples try to hide it. They push it down, but the weight does not disappear. Instead, it shows up through irritation, blame, and distance. This kind of pain grows deeper because it is tied to hope, and hope feels sacred. When hope does not match reality, the heart resists. It says this should not happen. You should be different. You should understand me without being told. You should change for me. Those thoughts create a battlefield inside the home. The first wounds appear as small disagreements. But soon the disagreements shape the day. A simple morning routine becomes tense because one person expects warm words while the other expects quiet. A dinner conversation turns cold because one person expects emotional closeness while the other expects space. These unmet expectations wrap around the relationship like ropes that tighten with every assumption. Over time, the couple begins to forget why they loved each other. They only see what is missing. They begin to believe that the partner is the cause of their pain, when the real cause is the invisible demand they place on the other person. The demand says, "You must be perfect for me." But perfection does not exist in daily life. Imperfection is the natural shape of a human being. When two imperfect people try to force each other into a mold, the result is pressure. Pressure becomes frustration. Frustration becomes anger. Anger becomes a wound that both people carry. This wound can feel like rejection. It can feel like failure. It can feel like loneliness, even when two people share the same room. Many couples try to fix this by pushing harder. They explain more. They argue more. They analyze more. But the problem does not get better because the problem is not about logic. It is emotional. It is the simple truth that no one can become perfect on command. No one can meet every standard. No one can anticipate every need. And when the couple tries to force that to happen, the heart of both people becomes tired. Ancient teachings describe this pain as the suffering that comes from clinging to an image instead of embracing what is real. When we cling to a picture of how someone should behave, we lose the ability to see who they actually are. We stop seeing their kindness. We stop seeing their small efforts. We stop seeing their heart. Instead, we see only the gap between expectation and reality. That gap becomes a shadow that sits on everything, but there is a door out of this shadow. This door begins with the practice of gentle compassion. Compassion toward the partner. Compassion toward oneself. Compassion toward the nature of imperfection. Compassion is not soft in a weak way. It is soft in a brave way. It means looking at the partner and saying they are human. They are learning. They are trying. They have fears. They have habits shaped by a lifetime before this relationship even began. Compassion is the beginning of freedom because it replaces judgment with understanding. When a couple practices this compassion, something changes. the home feels less like a battlefield. Conversations feel less like tests. Small mistakes stop feeling like personal attacks. The heart becomes less defensive. Compassion allows the mind to loosen its grip on rigid expectations. Instead of thinking my partner must be perfect, the mind learns to think my partner is growing just like me. Instead of thinking they should always understand me, the mind learns to say I can guide them with kindness. Compassion transforms the way problems are seen. A forgotten chore becomes a reminder to communicate better, not a sign of disrespect. A disagreement becomes a chance to listen, not a sign of incompatibility. Compassion opens the door to patience. Patience opens the door to peace. Alongside compassion, there is another powerful shift. It is the shift from a mind that criticizes to a mind that sees clearly. When criticism becomes the default thought, everything turns negative. The way someone speaks, the way someone laughs, the way someone moves through the house, all of it becomes material for judgment. The mind becomes sharp like a blade. It cuts without meaning to, but there is a way to dull this blade. It is the practice of directing thoughts toward acceptance. Acceptance does not mean that harmful behavior is allowed. It means recognizing that imperfection is normal. It means understanding that growth happens slowly. It means replacing the thought, "Why are you like this?" with the thought, "I see you learning and I am here with you." This simple shift changes the emotional climate of the relationship. When the mind stops attacking, the heart stops defending. When the heart stops defending, closeness becomes possible again. This is how clear thinking becomes a path toward healing. It transforms the habit of assuming the worst into the habit of seeing the whole picture. It helps the couple understand that the partner is not the enemy. The real enemy is the belief that perfection is required for love. With that belief released, something gentle begins to bloom. The couple notices moments of kindness that were always there but hidden. They notice the soft gestures, the small apologies, the quiet ways that love expresses itself every day. Appreciation replaces frustration. Gratitude replaces resentment. Slowly, the relationship begins to breathe again. The home becomes a safe place. A place where two people can unfold. A place where mistakes become lessons, not reasons for punishment. A place where both partners learn that love grows stronger when it is not chained to impossible expectations. This change does not happen overnight. It requires practice. It requires awareness. It requires the willingness to look inward and ask, what expectation am I holding that brings pain to both of us? This question leads to clarity. Clarity leads to compassion. Compassion leads to a relationship built on real connection instead of imagined perfection. When couples learn to release the pressure of unmet expectations, they rediscover the warmth that brought them together. They rediscover the feeling of being on the same team. They rediscover the joy of simple presence. This is the quiet miracle of practicing compassion in daily life. It turns the wounds of expectation into opportunities for deeper understanding. It turns conflict into connection. It turns disappointment into a chance to grow. As the couple continues this practice, they realize that love is not about shaping the other person into an ideal. Love is about walking together with gentle hearts. It is about growing side by side. It is about seeing the imperfect beauty in each moment. When this wisdom becomes part of daily life, the relationship becomes steady. It becomes calm. It becomes spacious enough for both people to breathe. And in this space, love becomes real.